Good afternoon, Pablo speaking.
Hi, Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Hi, my name's Jeffrey Hill. The reason I was calling you is because I had seen some information on the internet about, you were talking about 9/11.
Okay.
And I had seen where you mentioned somebody had quoted something you said, it was a puzzling sight, no one signs up for a flight where you fly by a tower on fire. What, you said you saw the second plane?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and how far out did you see it from?
I guess at the time, I think we were located, I believe that we were located on, we were on the Hoboken terminal, so I guess we saw it as it passed over our heads. So, again, it's pretty much on the edge of New Jersey.
Did you see it, the trajectory it had, it was already low at that time, I guess?
Definitely, yeah, it was definitely low. There was no question about that. Lower than what most planes were flying along, typically flew along New Jersey.
And did you notice, did it circle around anywhere or anything, or did it?
No, I basically just followed along the coast, and then, it banked roughly in front of the roughly a few, I assume it's a few hundred yards in front of the towers, and then, banked into the South Tower.
Coming in on a straight line, more or less, or?
No. Basically, it came, as I said, it came down the coast, and then it sort of banked roughly when it was in the vicinity of being across from the towers itself. It banked and flew into the South Tower.
Oh, so on a turn, it kind of came in to the South
Correct.
Tower.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and did you see another plane flying by too at that time?
I don't think so. No.
No, because it's the way it has your quote. It says you saw a plane flying by.
Who are you with?
Nobody. I'm just curious about what I was reading.
Right. And where did you read this stuff? Where do you remember where you read it?
I'm not sure where it was. It was on a forum. Someone was quoting. It was something Frozen in Time, it's called.
Mm.
Yeah, and then I was also reading something about how you were down in the basement of the Twin Towers a couple weeks later or something.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, our firm was involved with working at the recovery site, right?
And it said you had found a rock solid mass or something down there.
I wouldn't say rock solid mass, but definitely the debris that was down there was very compact, and it was very, very compact and basically up against the walls of the bathtub that was down there.
Is that where you see pictures of? You see, it's almost looks like a crater of silver, a big hole or something. I guess that would have been later on.
No, not necessarily. I don't think so.
So, you were able to get into the basement 2 weeks later?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you had access points that were part of the normal structure, so you're able to walk downstairs and things of that nature. As in areas that were not directly in the zone that you had the collapses and fires, you could definitely access it.
And did you happen to see any molten metal down there when you were down there?
No.
No. I had heard a fireman had said there was molten metal running like a foundry down in the basements.
I never saw it to that extent. No.
No, was it? So a lot of people say you were able to get into the basements after the collapse, right?
Say again?
You were able to get into the basements in the subway system after the collapse then?
Yeah, definitely.
It wasn't filled with debris and rubble?
Yeah, you had debris, you had rubble. Yeah, correct.
But you were able to walk around down there and stuff still, right?
Yeah, definitely. In some areas you could not make much headway. In other areas you could.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, because I see also on a lot of videos I've seen, there's a plane flying by at the same time as the collision. Mm-hmm. You didn't happen to see a plane fly by then?
And I can't remember, off the top of my head. It doesn't stand out.
But that quote, that doesn't ring a bell to you?
Which one now?
The one about people don't sign up to fly by.
Oh yeah, definitely. That sounds like something I would have said. No question about that. Because at the time when we were standing there watching, to me it just seemed like that the guy. It never occurred in my mind that someone would actually try and run into the towers on purpose. And the only thing that I can think of that would explain why the pilot was flying in that direction or in that trajectory was to try to get a view of what actually was happening nearby. So that's the only thing I could conceive of in watching him bank and turn towards the towers.
Okay, but you actually saw the plane hit the building then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a video of the planes going in like
never in any, never purposely or anything like that. You see it every once in a while when programs on 9/11 occur and stuff like that. But I've never, specifically looked at it just to study it in any great detail.
Yeah, because when you see the videos of the plane going in, it just melds right into the building without any reaction.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing goes in from nose to tail, like the wings cut through these steel beams. There's no reaction, there's no collision. And then you see the nose coming out the other side of the building.
On the other side, yeah.
Like, I mean,
I would tend to think that probably it's a function of velocity. Basically a structure that large, a plane being that has a certain momentum, and when it's traveling at a really fast speed, it's not only the force of the impact, but it's just the mere fact that it's flying at a high velocity, and it's impacting something that has zero velocity. So you get basically the inertia of the mass that basically can project through and displace fairly large objects relatively easily.
Yeah, because it seems like there's no deceleration when it hits the building, so there cannot be no transfer of energy, though.
Yeah, that's what it seems like, yeah.
Were you around when the towers came down?
We were in Hoboken. Myself and a few colleagues were in Hoboken at that time.
Yeah, so do you believe that jet fuel was able to turn those towers into...
I don't know, to tell you the truth. I've never really pondered much of it in any great detail. I guess this sort of... to be able to deal with what you saw, I focus on primarily just the work that we did down there and not necessarily trying to figure out all the little details. I think that's you can drive yourself nuts with that.
Like, was there anything strange that sticks out in your mind about, like, when you were in the basement, anything, like, peculiar, no?
No, not really. Again, we're not trained to basically, as engineers, we're not trained we're not trained, forensic engineers or anything like that. This is one of the things that you, as part of your work, you see occasionally here and there collapses and things of that nature. But by far, it's not something that we were definitely trained to look at.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of video from like the 80s and stuff with different engineers talking about how strong the towers were and stuff, and how even if a plane did hit, it would not be able to knock them down.
Yeah.
But it's just, I thought it was strange how both of them came down in the same way. And
we did see that down in the basement area. So we did see floors on top of floors. Yeah, that we did see. And from my own recollection of what the structure was, it was primarily a steel structure, not much concrete in it. And there really wasn't much concrete to say.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the stuff that was there was either pulverized, and the only stuff that we saw as far as floors were concerned was the stuff that was compressed down at the basement level.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's only within the space of the footprint, so it was kind of tight.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much for the time you took to talk to me.
Great. And your name again, please?
It's Jeffrey Hill.
Jeff Hill.
Yeah.
Okay, Hill. Jeff.
Okay.
Have a good one.
You too, bye.
Bye-bye then.